Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 35 of Podcast 5 Rings, your source of enlightenment, their own video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode of Podcast 5 Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes and Soundcloud. Now talking about topic day by day on YouTube, with the full video releasing on Friday. Catch updates about the podcast or for other news, give us a follow on your social media platform of choice, listed down there in that there description. We got The Wall That Will Not Fall, Tetsuo. You know who I am by now.
Who are you?
The new people, if anyone's listening for the first time, they can just not know who I am, okay?
Okay. No question.
We got the Dark Fortune Duelist meta.
Hello.
And the Resident Wild Card now.
Yo.
What's everybody been doing this week?
I've been tired this week.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know why.
The hype train.
Riding the hot
All
train.
aboard. Woo woo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're
So many interesting things coming up.
We're recording right before the Game Awards and PSX is this weekend, so we're going to get some nice new trailers that we might be talking about next week. So,
one can only hope.
Look forward to that. I've been watching a lot of anime and playing a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
How's that been?
I'm like 15 hours into it. It's good.
I play it because it's something to do.
Oh, man.
Mao lives.
Yeah, it's not like
neutrality.
I want to talk about it when I've beaten it or at least had more time to like play through it. It's like not the greatest thing in the world, but I mean it's a JRPG and it's fun. Yeah,
It's
Don't sound too excited when you say fun.
Like-
Ops.
It's got its issues.
yeah, oh yeah, it's got some issues, but I mean, I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it more than I was enjoying Tales of Berseria, which took me like a year to beat almost.
You sound exactly like I sounded when I started playing Fire Emblem Warriors.
I don't think I was quite as hot for Xenoblade 2 as you were for Fire Emblem Warriors.
I was looking very forward to it because I thought it was going to be done by the same team who did Hyrule. So
Yeah, I mean yeah, Xenoblade has its problems, but like I said, I'm still having fun with it.
It's already the worst Xeno series I've played because I don't have a
Oh well, yeah, you comparing it to like Xeno Gears and stuff. Did you play Xeno Gears?
Yeah, I've played all the non Wii console Xeno
Gotcha.
games, which is what was the second one? Is Xeno Gears and then Xeno Chronicles?
Xeno Saga.
Xeno Saga, that's the one.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
That's the one everyone seems to remember from my experience. I just have the problems I have with it are mainly like the same ones I have with most open world games. So
Yeah.
and the random. I mean, this was a problem in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 as well, but the random like level 80 mobs in the first area that will just one shot you.
The mob placement in general does not seem great.
Yeah. But yeah, we were not talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 tonight. This is not our first topic. Mal has our actual first topic, so let's go ahead and get into that. So you start us off, Mal. What do you got?
All right. I was figuring we could talk about spoilers.
Like the ones that go in the back of your car, right?
Yes, that's what we're gonna do from now on. Is talk about cars. Something we all, I'm sure, know
I know
lots
it's
about.
like one of the 5
Everybody-
rings, right? Cars are
everybody
in
wants
there.
to talk about cars. If your clan was a car, what would it be?
I don't know, a Hummer.
SRX.
Yeah, good choices. Good choices.
Anyway. So yeah, just in general, like with games, books, movies. I guess first things would be, what do you guys consider a spoiler?
Yeah, people have different opinions on this.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But if I were to call something a spoiler for myself, and this is probably still a work in progress, I would probably lay it down on essentially anything that might give a part of a plot away.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't even like to watch trailers for games. Like, even gameplay stuff that, like, they'll consider getting spoiled.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, which is true. It'll happen if you watch a trailer for something. You're technically spoiling something. But I mean,
I'm not spoiling myself. I'm teasing myself, Meta.
Is that why they call?
You gotta use more positive language here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, some people will be like, yeah, some people don't consider like stuff like that to be a spoiler because it's, you know, done by like an official like thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like the back of, or you know, like the jacket of a book might not be considered a spoiler for some. You know,
I'm gonna make a jacket of a book
I mean,
that literally gives away.
it's hard to go into something knowing nothing completely, like knowing if you want to watch it or play it or what. No.
Yeah.
Right. Gotta have something that hooks you initially anyway.
Yeah.
I think the bigger issue isn't so much that like a spoiler is a thing. It's when somebody spoils something for you that you
Yeah.
don't specifically want spoiled for you.
Right.
In whatever level of spoilage.
I was just talking about this earlier. Like I was like, I've been staying away from Code Geass news on the internet. I've been trying to find out like if and when the movie's going to release on DVD and Blu-ray so I can watch it finally, because if you know about Code Geass, they're finally continuing it after like 10 years. I was like, I've just been avoiding stuff because I don't want people who saw the movie in Japan to spoil it for me or anything in it. So, like, I'm at that level as far as like spoilers go. But like, I mean, I have to watch something or see. So, like, I have to see a movie trailer to be interested in going to see a movie. I have to see a game trailer and some gameplay trailers and footage before I'll be interested in a game. Like, I've never gone just, like, cold into something, unless it was just something I didn't know about and my friend, like, already had the game or the movie and was like, here, let's watch this. It was never something I was just interested in on, like, a title alone.
I think as long like I'm gonna stick with what I said. I think it's more like what happens with a spoiler, less so than going into a spoiler. Because I mean, technically, anytime you do anything that reveals a part of a plot or some scene of a movie or what have you from whatever entertainment thing you are looking at to not have spoilers on, you are spoiling something.
At what point does a title become a spoiler?
At what point? And I think it's less about is the item a spoiler and did you want this to be spoiled?
Yeah, I think in that regard, spoilers are a very personal thing.
Yeah, definitely. What put the idea of this topic in my head was an article on Kotaku of Mario fans are way too sensitive about spoilers.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, they basically leading up to the new Mario game, just they like the subreddit for Mario like implemented like massive like, you know, spoiler rules. Like there was a picture of a tree from a previous game, and like it was also in this upcoming game. And then I think there was, so I mean, I guess
I think I know
there's
what
gonna
they're
be
possibly talking about.
if
If it's of a certain zone.
yeah. So I guess there's going to be spoilers, I guess, for this segment.
There you go.
Say.
For
But,
Mario Odyssey, if you haven't beaten it yet.
right, for
And
just
you
in
care.
things. Someone was like, the fact that you fight Bowser is, I guess, can be considered a spoiler. And then I guess there aren't boos in this game.
No, there are no boos.
Right, and someone was like, the fact that there aren't any boos, is a spoiler.
I
And
got
then-
something spoiled for me randomly on Mario Odyssey, but you go on. I'll mention it.
Well,
afterwards.
the biggest one is that they said the game spoiled it itself for them playing the game. It was like the end of the article.
That's
this
just,
is
like,
kind of the most
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
I'm sorry, what?
Someone got transported to Mushroom Kingdom early through a painting, and I guess they didn't. They're like,
oh yeah.
yeah.
That's what
I
was
really
thinking.
wish the game itself hadn't spoiled the Mushroom Kingdom for me. I found a painting in the Food Kingdom that took me there early. The game spoiled itself.
Oh, that's
That's
like more of a. That should be like a Easter egg almost, but
that
it's
almost
not
sounds
even.
like sarcasm or getting a little bit meta into spoilers.
Yeah. 'cause
Well,
at that point,
there
that's
were
just a
like
plot,
people had under that or like had kind of like confirmed the same thing. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
they
like
didn't
after you
like
beat
that.
the game, you go to the Mushroom Kingdom, and what's funny is it uses a lot of the like. Instead of collecting moons while you're in the Mushroom Kingdom, you collect stars, and it uses the N64 star music for when you collect them.
That's cute.
And stuff. Yeah, it's very cute. But
see, I don't play a lot of Mario, so I wouldn't even think that would be a spoiler.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, it's not exactly like the hub world in Mario 64. There's more stuff there, but it is Peach's castle and stuff like that. But no, I got spoiled for the ending of Mario Odyssey because I was just watching a stream. I fell asleep and I woke up in the middle of the night, and it cut to the person was like hosting someone who was speedrunning Super Mario Odyssey at the very end. You use your hat to possess Bowser, and you go into the tube and you play as 2D Bowser and stuff, and shoot fireballs and stuff, and you have Peach on your shoulder, and she's a little 2D Peach sprite from Super Mario 1. I was like, oh no! I'm only halfway through the game! Damn it! So, like, that was like accidentally spoiling.
Yeah.
I was purposely staying away from watching Super Mario Odyssey speedruns because of that.
I guess, do you guys normally, like, how do you actively, like, avoid spoilers for most everything?
Yes, I actively avoid them.
I'll let you go first.
Go ahead.
No, you go first. I insist.
Polite crane.
A crane letting the crab go first? You gain 1 honor, sir.
No, I guess for me it depends on how how invested am I in wanting to really experience the story. If it's something that I'm gonna like play for just the gameplay wise, like a fighting game or something, probably not so much. But like if it's something that I'm really wanting to get into the story for, like say Horizon Zero Dawn, that was one that I absolutely avoided because I wanted to explore that story on my own. It just depends on how interesting, I guess, the main core concept of the story is for me.
Yeah, because some people might consider, like, to use the fighting game analogy, like characters in the roster, knowing who all's in that, like in a Marvel vs. Capcom game, a spoiler.
Yep. Did you have something to add, Meta?
No, he only has his sandwich to add. He probably went AFK. But yeah, we'll let him get back in a second. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know because I mostly play JRPGs, and I guess movies in general. The whole point is experiencing the plot, so you want to not be spoiled if you're going to pay money to go see a movie or watch an anime or TV show or what have you. But yeah, for video games, and I mostly play JRPGs. It's all about the story, so I have to actively avoid them.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Jumping real back here real fast to add on to that, I myself, I don't normally actively avoid spoilers. If I really want to avoid something being spoiled, I'm just going to go and see it. I mean, the biggest example I can think of is the new Star Wars movie. I just don't want to have to deal with the off chance that somewhere, somehow on the internet, something's going to get spoiled to me. So I will go I'm seeing that on the day after it comes out. So I'll just have to avoid the internet for one day. But for most stuff, if I'm interested in something, I'm going to go play it. So it's not really going to matter if I get any spoils for it or not, because I'll be playing it the same time everybody else is playing it. So we'll all be on the same track.
Well, yeah. I guess sometimes.
Yeah, like some people won't even read reviews.
Yeah.
I don't tend to read reviews until I get my own hand's opinion on it, because I'm a crotchety guy who believes only in what my two hands hold. But I mean, like, if it really just, like, again, it really comes down for me is what I consider preference for it, and it's going to be all about what I value as being spoiled or not. Is it a game that I'm willing to have some stuff spoiled? Is it something I really care if it's spoiled? So it's always going to fluctuate depending on the topic at hand. But more often than not, if it's either been out, like, for years' time, or even, I would say, half a year, and I have just no interest in seeing it, or if it's something that I'm going to be playing anyway, the spoils don't really matter all that much to me.
Well, yeah. I hope you know that Gandalf dies in the end of the first Lord of the Rings movie.
No!
All right, what about you, Mal? How do you feel about spoilers?
I don't care about them at all.
You don't?
Nope.
Yeah, you seem like the type that wouldn't.
I am perfectly fine with spoilers. I Because generally things that get spoiled are like big picture stuff, and I don't know. Usually that's pretty easy to see coming. Like if I'm going to see like a rom-com, it's not really surprising if the couple gets together at the end or something.
What if they don't, Mal? What if they
What
don't?
if they don't, Mal? Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what y'all expected on that.
Yeah, sometimes I'll even like go look like it as if I'm like watching like a season of something that's already been out. I will like go and look up something just to confirm a suspicion I have.
I've definitely done that.
I've done that before too.
I avoid it. I avoid that. Can't do it.
If they're like in season like 5 and I'm just now starting season 1 and I'm like, I bet you this is gonna happen, and then I'll like surreptitiously like look it up online so that way my wife doesn't see because she can be more spoilery sensitive than I am.
Yeah, I've been avoiding like the end of Farscape spoilers for years because I keep meaning to go back and finish it eventually, and I keep not getting to it.
One day I'll watch it. Until then,
not really
better not.
finished.
I know, and I don't look up anything Farscape. You used to be able to watch it on Hulu. You can't like watch it anywhere anymore. Is it on Netflix?
It's been on Netflix for a while.
Okay,
that's where
I'm
I
just an idiot.
Abs, I don't want to spoil this for anything, but Snape kills Dumbledore, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you had to go there. Had to go there.
That's a very classic spoiler.
It's meme-worthy spoiler.
Right.
Little known fact about me, I'm a wizard, Harry. No, I haven't read any of the books or watched any of the Harry Potter movies, and I have zero desire to.
And for me, I don't mind that spoiler because like the moments leading up to that are way more interesting.
Mal's all about the journey.
Right.
Bao is all about the journey.
Not the destination.
To be fair, sometimes like that's like what my kind of thought process is too. Is like if I really care enough to not want it spoiled, it's because I really want to see the destination. But a lot of times I think to myself, even if it is spoiled, as long as it's done good, you're still gonna get sucked in.
But what if you knew Titus was a dream the whole game, Mal?
That's fine.
Spoilers for a game that's like 20 years old, by the way.
I know, right?
Yeah. So
it's not over that.
No, it came out in 2000.
Almost 20 years. God, that game's 17 years old.
That's depressing.
Almost 18. It came out in January, didn't it?
I don't remember that much.
I don't know.
It came out in winter time.
Plus, yeah, there's just so much nuance that you can't really get from just someone telling you something about. Like, even if someone tries to explain an entire movie to me, like, they're not going to get everything that makes a movie good about, like, Also, there are some people who think that if a spoiler can ruin a story, then it's not a very good story.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, it's not like it's what leads up to the event, but then also how well do they craft the atmosphere of the event? Like, you can know that Snape is gonna kill Dumbledore, but if you don't know, how emotionally charged the whole situation is, or
it's like
whatever.
to protect Draco and all that. He made a promise to the Draco's mom and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it when you actually look at it. So when he actually does do that scene, if you actually know why he does what he does, it's you kind of let go of what the point of the destination is and realize that the journey to that destination was more important.
I knew Eris died before I even played my first Final Fantasy game.
I did not know it, and that crushed me.
It had zero effect on me. I was like, I didn't really like her. I'm glad she's dead.
Those are fighting words, sir. I will see you outside.
I'm glad Sephiroth ran her through.
No!
Tifa, best girl.
You're dead to me.
Tifa is best girl.
Cloud clearly belongs with Vincent.
Cloud is best girl.
Vincent, best girl.
Vincent is my favorite character in the game.
Big
surprise.
I will say,
edgiest edgelord.
I will say this though: the only time I think a spoiler really kind of does, I mean, like the argument was like, if a spoiler kills the movie, then it really wasn't probably a good movie. I would say that's possibly true, but so is the inverse, which is if one of the biggest points is leading up to that twist, that moment where it throws everything on its head to reveal to you, and it's a mystery that leads to that point, then it kind of ruins a lot of the movie.
I think that applies for M. Night Shyamalan.
So there's only really been one study on spoilers, and it basically found that knowing like a big reveal makes the well, I think it was I think it was all movies, but it made the movie more enjoyable.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. Like, there's times like if you know, say somebody's gonna betray somebody, the whole time you're watching the movie, if you don't know when it's going to happen, you're on the edge of your seat with every interaction that has those two characters.
See, I like that.
The big one of the big parts of the article I was reading was like knowing Kevin Spacey as Kaiser Soze in Unusual Suspects.
I like
was like something they tested, and
I like learning that stuff and then going back and watching the movie and looking for the clues that I miss.
That's fun too.
That's like a part you don't. I mean, you get it on the first time. I guess you're looking for clues.
To back Mal, what Mal was saying for that study, I mean, just look at Game of Thrones. How many people have posted up either texts or images or even GIFs of them watching their friends see the scenes where everything fucking falls apart and getting
the red wedding,
and before those
red wedding, purple wedding.
I read those. Here we go. Here's my Game of Thrones history stuff. I read those books before the show came out, and my friends always went. It's kind of a spoiler. They're like, "There's going to be a scene. You're going to get mad. You're going to want to put the book down." He's like, "And you're going to call me and gripe about it." And that's what I did. I was reading it next to my fireplace, and I was literally about to throw the book into the fire. I was so angry when the Red Wedding came up. I'm sure everyone knows what the Red Wedding is now, but
I actually do not.
Okay, well,
I'm hold back up here.
Well, I'm not going to.
I'm sorry, you have a fireplace that you read beside Obs?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you.
I'm a classy, elegant gentleman.
Come on in and sit down.
He's got his like wonderful
bubble pipe going.
My globe and my various bookshelves with
his elegant robe
with my Timothy's on Star Wars novels decorated so elegantly behind me.
So Tets doesn't know what the Red Wedding is, and it's been how long?
I have absolutely zero interest in.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not saying this. I was just. So, do you think there should be a statute of limitation on spoilers?
I think it's personal.
Yeah.
So therefore, I don't. Yes, that's the thing though. Like that's part of kind of when you start having, as being a friend and like having friends, you kind of start being cognizant about those things, and you misstep one or two times, sure, but I don't know. Like in the grand scheme of things, is really spoiling something all that bad? Like, is it really that big of a transgression?
Yeah. That's what people did for me. Constantly. Go ahead, Meta.
I was gonna say it's like I don't know if it's really considered like a full-on transgression, but like you said, it's personal. I would state that the best way to solve the problem is to just say, "Do you care about spoilers?" Just ask the question.
Exactly.
Well, now you've got stuff like with the internet and like social media, you can have like people live tweet things.
Oh, my friends are assholes.
Right.
So they were like trying to get me to read A Song of Ice and Fire or Game of Thrones for so long, and they would always talk about the end of the first book where spoilers. It's been 7 years. That's my statute of limitations. The main character gets killed towards the end of the first book, and they kept talking about it, and they were like, "You need to read these." I was like, "You guys keep spoiling them for me, so I'm not going to read them." And I finally just did. But yeah, so 7 years. Yeah. Well, it's only been 6 years actually. It's been almost 7. It was spring of 2000.
I don't try and go out of my way to obviously spoil anything for anyone, because I still want people to get as much enjoyment out of whatever it is that they might.
But man, the meme caught on for the last Harry Potter book where people were going around. I was randomly in Walmart and people were out there yelling spoilers, fake or real, otherwise, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious to hear the shrieks.
I was working in a bookstore when the last Harry Potter book released, and I actually had to work that release night, and I remember while running around trying to do everything, I also had the book out and was like trying to read the book as I was doing all my work because I didn't want spoilers at the time.
I was in Wisconsin visiting family when the book came out, and they were having a graduation party for me, so I was the focus of the party. I just sat there and read Harry Potter the whole time.
There you go.
I will say
this is more important than all of you. So.
I will say one thing though is that
mingle amongst yourselves.
I did have the opportunity to have Lily sit down and watch the whole storyline for Final Fantasy Tactics without any spoilers to it. And I will state, it was amazing the first time, because Lily, I'll give this to Lily. Lily is really good, like, on intuitive critical analysis. If like somebody makes a mention of something, she'll easily start guessing, like, oh, this person's gonna betray this person, this guy's gonna die.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like that, and she's really good at it. She's generally very close or spot on. She's close enough, even if she's not right, that it takes away any of the punch of it, and she's like, I was right. But it was so enjoyable when I told her, like, because we were streaming, and I told everybody, like, all right, everybody shut up, don't say anything more about this plot, anything. She will figure it out if you say stuff. It was absolutely enjoyable when we finally got to the part where you meet the Cardinal after you find out he's betrayed you. And spoiler alert, he transforms into one of the demons from the stones itself. Lily had no idea this was going to happen, and like her shit was just completely blown out of her mind. She was like, what? What the fuck? What's going on? What? So the spoiler on that would have absolutely killed that surprise that she got, hands down. And in that regard, I would state that, like, that's where, like, not spoiling something becomes really important, is when something just shows up out of the blue that you would have never known about. It could be almost as interesting to find out about it without ever knowing it beforehand. And in that regard, I could easily see why some people don't want stuff spoiled either.
He was obviously the pro ZD villain, Lysander author. You just
was
know the guys.
Yeah.
My evil machinization shall go lying undetected. Meh. He's like twirling his mustache.
It was funny too, because like she guessed. The best part is that she wasn't fully right in the best kind of way. She had guessed that obviously he was going to backstab us, but she hadn't guessed that he was going to turn into
to the extent.
From some. Yeah. So it was just so funny where she was like, she kind of had that smugness to her of being right, and then suddenly, bam! Surprise! I'm a demon. It was great.
Surprise! It was red herring. All along. Man, pup named Scooby-Doo. Underrated cartoon.
All right.
All right, Tets. What's your topic?
Before I get to my topic real fast, just I had a very passing thought that you know where else it's really important not to spoil?
Where is that?
RPG modules.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
that's...
But I think it's because in that case, the interaction with the story, like, it's different than on video games, because on video games, to a degree, the story is what the story is going to be. Maybe, you know...
Yeah, there's less agency.
Spoil the fact there's 20...
Right.
Right.
Because once it gets
RPG,
spoiled, you can't, like, not keep that in your mind.
Exactly.
Right? Like, you can't wipe it.
You'll just be metagaming, even, like, subliminally.
Yeah.
So...
This is a very, very fleeting passing thought that...
It's a good one, though.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's actually a really solid one. That's one of the few times where spoilers can actually, unfortunately, ruin the experience because you'll know.
So does that mean we need to put spoiler warnings on our monthly modules now?
They are a
No.
spoiler.
Literally,
know that going in.
All right, now let's get to your topic.
Yes. Yeah, so...
Spoilers, part 2.
I know we had talked when we were talking earlier about how we have so many things that are coming up that we're excited about when we this episode, and one of them on Saturday drops the beta for Monster Hunter World.
Yes.
I am
Yes.
so excited about.
Yes. Meta got what I was doing there.
Yep.
I've been waiting for this the second
Embossynyes.jpg.
the trailer or them going through the jungle, and I was like, this has got to be Monster Hunter.
I'm telling you right now, I already looked up all the weapons, and I already have an idea of what I want to play now.
I haven't looked up the weapons yet.
Well, they're all the
There.
same weapons.
Are they?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll start there. It's all 14 weapons
You
that have been in all the games.
No.
And the
Yeah,
beta,
they included
actually,
all the weapons in the beta.
all 14 weapons are in the beta.
They'll probably stick with
So-
sword and board.
Yeah, what does everyone want to? Well, I mean, I guess there's only 3 quests in
I don't
the
know.
beta or the
Yeah, 3
So-
quests across the different areas.
yeah. So you can try out different weapons, but what does everyone think they're going to start with?
I'm definitely doing my charge blade. I love the charge blade so much.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm not great with it, but I love it.
That's mostly what I used in the last game for the story.
The charge blade or the switch axe, both of which
Yeah.
are axes that can turn into swords, but the charge blade is like sword and
shield.
board. Yeah, sword and shield, where the shield becomes the axe head, whereas the switch axe is more...
The axe is the base form of the switch axe, and the charge blade, the axe, is the superior version.
Right.
What about you, Meadow? Did you say? You already know? You looked at it?
Yeah, I looked at the weapons.
I was going to recommend the long blade to you.
You know what? I actually thought the same thing, and you would be very right in a normal circumstance, but...
Because it's a giant katana.
It is. It's a giant katana, and gosh damn it if I don't love that weeaboo katana.
You could say it's a Nodachi.
Yeah, pretty much. But actually, truth be told, the weapon that has me most interested is the heavy bowgun. Oh my gosh. I want to be a mobile artillery platform.
See, I want to try the light mode. I just want to just Gatlin someone.
That's the thing. I want to just like take this thing, move around. It's like, oh, you need an artillery strike. By God, I'll bring heaven's justice upon them.
Yeah.
That's all I feel like. Ever since I grew up, I wanted to be I wanted to be an artillery mech. That's all I wanted to be.
Yeah. You wanted to use artillery to shoot dinosaurs.
I wanted to solve my problems by firing at them from miles away and seeing them evaporate in an explosion. All my problems. That's the weapon. But seeing as how that you can actually switch weapons on the fly, I might actually take the longsword if I'm feeling cheeky and want to get up and close and personal.
Yeah, I was thinking about starting out.
You'll be able to. Are you going to be able to switch weapons in the middle of a mission though?
Yeah.
Oh, middle of a mission? No,
Yes.
probably not.
Yes, I looked that up. Apparently, you can. You will be able to switch them in the middle of a mission.
That makes me happy.
I want to do sword and board, lance, or the insect glaive. One of those.
Oh yeah, I quite like the insect blade as well.
It's interesting.
That's what I used 2 games ago, mostly. But yeah, so
I just like it because it reminds me of Zidane.
Light blowgun start. What? The what? Zidane?
Yeah. Because it's a butterfly sword or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the model.
Swallow blade, whatever.
The one other thing I actually want to ask, because if I'm going to be a mobile artillery platform, how generally good is support? Because in my eyes, when you're playing something like with supportish, which is what the light bowgun really falls into the category of, what does that mean in this game? Because I don't know.
You can debuff.
Both bowguns will have like trick bullets to fire.
Yeah, whereas heavies is mostly damage oriented. Light is like debuffing and whatnot.
See, that'd be fun.
Doesn't
there's
the
also
heavy bowgun have like a trap?
Play the hunting horn meta.
I think so. They added special fires to, or like special abilities to the blowguns, and I do think one of the heavy blowguns gets like a special trap shot.
Gotcha.
Because the other one is like an actual call-in artillery shot. Looks like, I think rains down.
Yeah, there's actually like an artillery shot for it.
And then there's also the hunting horn, which is a melee support weapon where you play notes to do buffs.
Bard.
Dude,
it's barred with a hammer because the horn can be
it's a giant hammer practically.
I don't know if I'd be really interested in that. I probably have to see these in play.
You're super interested in the dual swords, right? Two hands.
Actually, they looked pretty cool.
I'm just giving you Miyamoto shit.
I know you're playing the role of Ty right now.
I know.
Well, the dual blades have a really cool like berserkers.
They got a demon mode, I think it's called.
Oh my god!
Demon mode. Yeah. It just makes you go faster and do more damage.
Because in Monster Hunter, each weapon has its own mechanics.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool.
That's actually the longsword.
It's your class per se.
I want to say this right now. The longsword, the thing that has me most interested about it is that it has a counter on it, where apparently there's like a move where you can do a dash and then you'll do a slash afterwards. You'll dash back and slash, but during that time of the dash back, there's a small frame window of time where if the opponent hits you, not only will it immediately charge up like your special gauge for the weapon, but you'll do a very powerful strike back at the target with invincibility frames. The whole thing.
Nice.
which to me is just badass.
I like that. Yeah.
I love weapons that give you counter strikes. I really love counter moves on weapons. It's so satisfying to counter somebody.
Yeah.
So what are the quests and the worlds that we're going to get to go through in the beta?
So the quests
There are 3
Here it is,
across
yeah.
2 map types.
Yep, the Great Devourer, Great Jargus takes place in the Ancient Forest. That's going to be the first open area, and the Great Jargus, which is kind of this. So the Jargus. Anyway, they are kind of like a pack mentality animal. So the Great One is kind of their alpha pack leader. It's the one if you've
They're
if
like
you've
the
seen,
giant velociraptor species, right? Like that's what they kind of look like, the raptors. Like there's like a different. There's the red one, the purple one, the yellow one.
Those are the
something.
Joggy from the previous game.
Right.
They kind of fill the same role. If you've seen any of the gameplay from any of the different shows they've been to, it's the giant like lizard-like thing that can swell up and has like the giant mouth sac thing and swallows some of the things whole. That's the Great Jagras. Like a. It's gonna sound weird. Like a lizard, but in the sense
Oh yeah,
of like the four-legged
it looks
lizard
kind of like an
combined with
iguana, actually.
Yeah.
Now that I pulled it up, like a big iguana, or like it's got 2 like hulking front hands or whatever.
Right. The
But yeah.
second level will take you hunting the second new creature that was revealed, the Angenoth, which is this T-Rex looking thing, but its nose has like a whole bunch of the holes to smell really well, and it can like come up and like has even more scent receptors. And so with that one, it's interesting because when you use some of your hiding mechanics, it can still find you because it's sniffing you out. So you got to figure out how to work around that.
Yeah, it really does look like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one I'm really looking forward to playing. It's going to be one of the earlier large monsters. So, and that also takes place in the Ancient Forest. So those two take place in that world. And the final quest will take place in the desert-like Wildspire Waste, in which you're going to hunt a returning monster this time, the Baroth. A earthen wyvern that likes mud and like rocks to eat ants in the mud, which I find hilarious because it's huge and it eats ants.
Yeah, they have huge rock heads.
Yeah. The Baroth is fun. That one was one fight that I know I would go back to a lot in the earlier games, so I'm hoping they keep a lot of it.
Yep.
They also said that there are 2 really powerful monsters in each area, or 1 in each area, for
really?
people who are looking for a challenge.
Oh, that's going to be us.
Oh, for the beta in addition to those?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Nice.
I think we are going to do this for our first attempt to play, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I think 1 is the Rathalos,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Rathalos
and then the Diablos.
Yeah.
Diablos.
So the other thing about the game, in addition to having a whole bunch of weapons that all play differently, there are so many monsters across all the games. If you don't know Monster Hunter, I guess a little bit late into this to give the basic laydown of the game, you're hunters who go hunt monsters to harvest parts from them to build armor and equipment to hunt bigger monsters. And the fun thing is that every single monster is different. Every monster is unique in their own way, and you have to learn that monster when you go hunting it. So,
Are you telling me I have to fill out a bestiary?
I think they have one.
Oh, this game just became great.
Yeah, if it,
they have
I
a
love
wild
bestiaries.
The best thing is that each monster has like their own armor set.
one. Yeah, you can craft
Fashion
armor
Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. I love these games for so many reasons. The only problem is that like you will always need like that one part that has like a 1% drop rate, and so you will constantly be farming a mission for it never to drop. That's frustrating. but this brings back 12 different monsters from earlier games. The 4 large monsters, which are the ones people are really interested in, I think. The Baroth, the Diablos, and then the 2 flagship dragons, the Rathalos and the Rathian. But in addition to these 12 returning monsters, they are bringing in 22 brand new monsters. So there's more new than there is returning. And there's 14 large monsters that they're bringing in. So 18 total to hunt for the big hunts.
Yeah, and I wonder. Yeah, they'll probably add some. They'll add hunts via. They've always have free DLC. I don't.
Yep.
They never do paid DLC, except they just basically they make an updated version of that game, and then we'll sell it like a year or two later, sort of like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they do a lot of free DLC, like hunts and then like special armor and stuff, with a lot of different tie-ins. Last game had Yu-Gi-Oh tie-in,
Oh, yeah.
One Piece, Zelda, Street Fighter, so you could get all sorts of different gear and stuff for that. Those.
This one, the PS4, is going to have a unique Horizon Zero Dawn outfit.
Oh yeah, you
and
can play as
you can
Aloy.
be Aloy. Yep.
The Valkos are interesting. They're like these little cat helper follower things that.
Yeah,
you
if you're
take
not
with
playing
you
with
on
people,
missions.
you can get little cat NPCs.
PCs, yeah. Yep, and if you clear the beta, you get face paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get
And some
face paint,
items.
but then you also get some items that if you don't use in the beta will carry over to the main game for you. So
Yeah, it's like just potions and stuff.
life powder, max potions, and shock traps, and a
Yeah.
few other things.
You can't kick players in the beta. Nor can they join in mid-quest.
It is 4 people. It's parties of 4, I believe it's all.
Okay. Which I think that's what it's always been, but
Yeah, I think so,
couldn't
too.
remember earlier when I asked. But yeah, so I think that they said that there's going to be 6 different male and female presets you can choose from for the beta. But when the actual game drops, I've seen previews of the character editor. Yeah, like there's a good amount to it,
they said that
at least
it's got a
compared to
full
some of the earlier stuff.
Featured detailed character creator in
Yeah.
the actual game.
So.
I can't
I'm
wait.
excited.
Reload tomorrow. Which,
Remind me to preload that, please.
Midnight.
it's only like 6 gigs, I think, so pretty tiny.
5.9,
compared.
yeah, 5.9 gigs, and
Okay, that's not bad.
the beta officially opens at noon Eastern Standard Time.
Right.
Pacific.
On Saturday, which
On Saturday,
will have
yeah.
already happened by the time this comes out.
Yep.
Yep.
So
That's
It
true.
goes to the 12th.
Yep.
Which is that Tuesday.
So you'll be listening to this the day the beta ends. So maybe you can listen to this and go home and play it on your PS4 if you sound interested.
Oh yeah, only PS4.
Yeah, PS4 only.
It's only PS4 for the beta?
Yep.
No, I thought the beta was also on
Nope.
Xphone.
PS4 only beta.
Suck it, X-Bone. Yeah, you know by now that I like to crap on Microsoft. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to this.
Yep.
It's going to be fun. It'll be a new nice 4-player game for us to play, and like I said,
I think, yeah, it'll be very nice to play. Plus, it won't be a PvP game, which means we can relax and be idiots instead of attempting to actually.
Yeah.
exactly. You can watch us like grind our
serious
heads
and be
against
idiots.
these monsters.
Yeah, I mean, we're still idiots even when we're serious, but at least we're not serious idiots. And we just look
Yeah.
bad.
yeah, we're only semi-serious idiots.
If there's one thing I'm not, it's serious.
Why
you
so serious, Meta?
Yeah, and then so it also is going to introduce, when the full game drops, 2 new Elder Dragons, which Elder Dragons are like their end-to-end game content boss fights.
Raid
that
boss.
You really need pretty much. You need to try to pull 4-person team if you can to hunt them type deal.
All I'm hearing is that I just need to suplex a dragon, is what you're trying to tell me right now.
Yep.
Only they
So
had a
the-
monk
the-
class.
If only. Oh god, if I could suplex beasts in this game, I would do it.
They really need a fist weapon. Just
Oh,
like
it's so great. I would love to just punch the snout of like a creature.
the 2 Elder Dragons that they're introducing, the Ner Gigante and the Zora Magdaros, which that one's name actually translates to Scorching Mountain Dragon, and is a
What
key
language?
part of the. It's actually going to be a core part of the story, from what I understand. And it in this game they're
Ooh.
actually stories, but this one's really pushing a narrative for all the missions. So I'm interested in seeing what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, the backstory is you're the 5th wave of
people to
hunters to go to this continent.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Team lead was a veteran from the first wave.
Yeah. They wanted it to be more than, I think, because all the other stories are like, go to this village, hunt these monsters. Go to this.
Yeah,
village.
it's very
much
not really a story. So
this one's gonna have actual voice acting, but there will be an
wow.
option that you can turn it to the nonsensical voices.
Yeah, the
from
gibberish.
the previous games.
Yeah.
Wyvernian or something they called it, I think, is the option that it's labeled under.
Interesting.
And the Ner Gigante very much looks like an upgraded version of the Diabolos. I want to say it. So I'm excited.
Gigante. He is legend.
But yeah, it's the other thing that's because they're pushing it to be more of a narrative deal. Your character is going to be featured in a lot of cutscenes now, and sharing the same clothing. Yeah, that's it right there. Yep.
He looks like Ormondal in dragon form.
It's just Diablos from Diablos. That's what everyone said when it came out or revealed.
So yeah, really looking forward to this. The beta is going to be fun.
Yep. We're going to try and record this and put it on YouTube, so if you eventually want to watch us be goofs and get killed a lot and try to beat the first boss, and it'd probably take us like 2 hours. And here you go. We'll have more information about that soon.
Very positive on our abilities there.
Oh, yeah. You know it. Alright, we'll get into my topic. I'm going to talk about a little 6-episode show that came out a few months ago that I watched. I finished it the other day, actually.
Hold on, let me get my sandwich real fast.
Yeah, go get your sandwich. Sit back. Let me weave you a
your
narrative. Let me tell you a tale.
Yes. I also eat all my Japanese food as English food.
Theater of the mind, view here for a moment. Now, I'm going to talk about, this came out in September, Neo Yokio, which, if you pay attention to... Yeah, if you pay attention to... I guess anime in general, a lot of, anime people talked about it because it is kind of a Eastern show done in the style of anime, so to speak. So,
Created by...
Well, it's got a lot of hate over the time, but I unironically enjoyed the show. I had a blast watching it. It's created by Ezra Koenig, who is a musician in a band called Vampire Weekend. I've never heard any of their music. Are they good?
What
kind of rock band are they?
I
was just like, I don't know, it's all rock, whatever.
They're indie, I guess, I think, or were, I don't know. I listen to a lot, and I don't pay attention to genres necessarily.
Okay. It's also, the animation was done by Production IG and Studio Dean. Production IG is known for having pretty good animation, which this show does not, but we'll touch on that in a minute.
Terrible.
Yeah, so a lot of people like to, I guess, the zeitgeist of the time back a few months ago when it came out, and they kind of do this a lot with sort of Western, anime, Eastern-inspired Western shows. A lot of people ask, is this an anime or is it
Castlevania was
not?
received much better than this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's the same way. Is it an anime or is it not?
This one was actually done by Japanese animators.
Yeah, an anime studio.
Japan calls any animation anime, even if it's not Japanese.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But it's more like, what do we as Westerners consider anime? The whole definition is subjective, not to get into an ontological debate about what is anime and what is not. I would argue it isn't, but that it's very influenced by...
Right.
You can tell that Ezra, grew up watching anime, because it doesn't really parody anything per se, but there are lots of references to, especially lots of 90s anime in the show. So, one of the main criticisms people gave about the show is the main character, Kaz Khan, is played by Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son. And a lot of people like to give him crap about his performance. I'll say right up front, his performance is not good at all. But it's kind of like
I
some
heard
of the...
sometimes it's like reading his Twitter.
Yeah,
the anime.
exactly. But it's kind of the charm of the show. So the show is about this... he's probably like early 20s. His name's Kazkan. All he wants to do is be a fancy, elegant gentleman. He wants to be the best. They have a bachelor board in Yokio, which is this amalgamation of New York and Tokyo, obviously.
It's future New York.
It's almost like it is, but it's like weird alternate universe too, because a lot of the nations in the world are broken up into city states and stuff. It has lore that's introduced at the beginning of the show, right when the show starts, through a tourist guide video, welcome to Yokio thing that kind of explains the city.
And how many episodes long?
It's only 6 episodes.
The board is in Times Square.
Yeah, the board is in Times Square. It's called the Bachelor Board, where they rank the most elegant, fancy, up-and-coming bachelors in all of Yokio that are displayed for the whole city to see.
It's like everything past 14th Street in New York is under sea, I believe, or something.
Yes, a big portion of New York is underwater as well. So Kaz is... all he cares about is being fancy, being elegant, but his girlfriend kind of dumped him. So at the beginning of the show, he's kind of in the dumps and being all woe's me, melancholy Romeo-esque. And he kind of just wants to mourn, but his aunt forces him to work for their money because he's a nouveau riche kind of guy. He's new money, whereas a lot of people in the city are old money, and explains it to you back in the very first part of the show in the tourist video that once upon a time Yokio was horribly overrun and infested with demons. So they hired wizards to come over to Yokio, like actual like Merlin kind of wizards, and they called them rat catchers back in the day because it's like demons would possess rats and stuff, and they'd have to like basically exorcise the demons. And Kazkan is a descendant of these, what they call magistocrats instead of aristocrats. And all the people who are magistocrats are wealthy, but they're the nouveau riche kind. They have to like work for their money. So his aunt's always forcing him to take on these jobs, exorcising demons to basically pay for this lavish lifestyle that he wants to live. So yeah, he has to work to keep up his elegant lifestyle, and he has a passion for fashion. He loves to look good. He likes to go to this tailor in the city and constantly have like the best like suit on and stuff to help rise up on the board and maybe make his ex-girlfriend jealous, who was like a bank firm, and I can't remember. She worked in a bank firm and she went off to San Francisco before the season even starts. So what makes Kaz so funny is kind of just Jaden Smith's delivery, to be honest with you. It's so like deadpan and
apparently
monotone.
He doesn't voice act. He just like they just recorded him talking the lines.
Yeah, and you can tell, and it's freaking hilarious in a lot of. And my favorite line, one of my favorite lines, is
he just talks.
Yeah, he would basically just read the lines because he's not he's not a good actor anyway.
Basically, sounds dead inside.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts is he's visiting a girl he used to date in the hospital, and to make her get well, he has a giant Toblerone bar that he's going to give to her, and she starts basically going off on this anti-capitalist spiel, like how he's vapid and his he's not like a good person, and all he cares about is material objects. He doesn't want to help people. It's like a lightning storm, all dramatic in the background, like frames his face, like the lighting turns his face black, and he just goes, "You don't deserve this giant Toblerone." Just like sets it on the table. It's like I laughed for like a minute straight at that part. Like his deadpan
apparently
is so good.
This it's very meme worthy, which I think explains why Obs loves it so much.
Yeah,
you know what? That would explain
there's a part where he's fighting a demon, and he randomly spouts out, this is one of the big memes other than Toblerone. He says, "Coco Chanel, may her memory be blessed," before he nukes this demon. I think Coco Chanel was like some fashion designer or something like that who died a long time ago. I think she was like a Nazi sympathizer too, interestingly enough. But he has a rival for who's going to be number one on the Big Bachelor board. The guy has the best name ever. His name is Archangelo. It sounds like it's such a bad. He's such a cheeseball. The guy who voices him, I can't remember his name, but he's in stuff. I recognize the voice.
I mean, they got some good talent apparently.
Yeah, Susan Sarandon.
Some people said they were
his aunt.
Yeah, and Jude Law is his robot butler.
Yes, Charles.
Wait, you got this far and didn't share that he has a robot butler?
Yeah, he has a robot mech that he flies around on that is also his butler, and it's named Charles.
So this really does sound good in the I want to get drunk in Mystery Science Theater shit out of it.
It's very Adult Swim brand of humor, kind of, too. It will remind you of some, like, it got some Tim and Eric vibes from it. And I don't even necessarily like Tim and Eric, but it's that kind of, like, deadpan, sometimes a non sequitur, like, comedic style. So if that comedic style doesn't appeal to you, you're probably not going to find it that funny.
I saw a lot of people saying that it's a really good parody or satire, but when I looked up like interviews, apparently Ezra made this like this is all completely like legit, like played straight, like everything's a loving tribute that
it's not satirical at all.
Right.
It doesn't even.
Everyone else keeps saying it is though.
It doesn't really parody anything. It has references like there's a character in the second episode whose name's Sailor Peregrino, and that's just like a reference to Sailor Moon.
Is that the Taylor Swift character?
She's like a pop idol from the South.
She's Taylor Swift with she's Taylor Swift with Katy Perry's hair and Miley Cyrus accent.
Basically, yeah.
What was her name?
Her name is Sailor Peregrino, which I think is a type of wine.
Yeah, San Pellegrinos are a type of sparkling soda.
Oh, that's what it is then.
Yeah.
It has reference to Speed Racer because there's like a car race towards the end of the series. And Ranma 1/2, there's an episode where his two best friends, they go to the Hamptons because his uncle's dead or whatever, and they jump in a pool, and one turns into a panda bear and the other one turns into a female. So there's like a Ranma 1/2 reference there, and even Fruits Basket's a little bit there, but just the people turning into animals. But so yeah, you can tell he like watched his anime and is influenced by it because he has little hints and stuff and like little references, and like that stuff's neat. It's neat to find out like what he's referencing, but there are some stuff that's like really corny and cheesy that it like anytime like the Western stuff will have characters go like chibi or nosebleed or blush all the time or have the sweat drops. It always feels like a bit like trying too hard, in my opinion.
Yeah,
which the show does. Like there's this, I think the second or third episode, they say. The girl who goes off on him becomes like a NEET. And she's like, I'm a hikikomori now. And they literally say hikikomori like 50 times in the episode and keep explaining what a hikikomori is. I'm like, stop.
Another criticism I've seen is that he's just kind of an awful character and he doesn't really get any character development.
No, he
except
doesn't.
For like 45 seconds at the end or something I saw.
It's not justified like that at the end. But what I was going to say, actually, to piggyback off of that, is another thing I hear a lot of people complain about is that they feel like the show wanted to say a message but didn't at the same time. Because it has the one character who's like, capitalism's bad, you live this rich, lavish lifestyle, and like Neo Yokio, the whole city is just trying to oppress people and keep them down. But you don't ever see examples of that, really, other than like 5 seconds at the end of the show. Because everything they show you, Neo Yokio looks great and amazing. And it doesn't show you like the slums or how...
It's possible they're setting up an amazing second season.
It could be. I don't know if it's going to get renewed because it was received so negatively. But it's not...
It was apparently originally made for Fox, and Fox canceled
Fox ADHD
block,
Yeah,
so Netflix bought it.
Yep, and at times the animation feels purposely bad. Like throughout the whole series, they do the bad dub lip flaps where what they say doesn't match up, and you can tell that's on purpose.
He said he was going for 1980s animation, I believe.
Yeah, so and when he does that, you can tell like he's watched lots of old anime because the lip flaps never match the dub. But then it has some parts where like in a fight scene, it will literally be like 5 frames per second or something like that, and it's just like not great. And you're like, they probably didn't intend that, maybe.
Oh yeah, if you like Wes Anderson movies, this is a good thing to watch. It's like
I can
Wes
see that.
Anderson made an anime. That's another way I've heard it described.
Actually, yeah. So I mean, like that's pretty much.
There are people who do like it.
Oh yeah,
but it's just mostly people don't like it.
Yeah, and I think the people who don't like it either don't have that style, like that sense of humor doesn't really appeal to them at all, or they just really didn't get the show. Like they might not be anime
bad
fans.
Parts about the show, possibly.
Yeah, I mean it's like a comedy, so I'm not like judging it necessarily on
the show can't be bad.
The strength
of its
like
plot. Bad things.
Oh yeah, sure. And I'm not even saying it's like great or anything, but like it's a comedy. Most comedies, like even like comedy movies, they never win Oscars or anything like that. No one ever really says they're like great movies or stories, but it's kind of like how I feel about this. Like it's not about the plot; it's about like the fun characters, like the dry sense of humor, if that appeals to you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's why I enjoyed the freaking heck out of it. It was I was never one to watch it. The trailer is also really bad. It's like one of the worst trailers I've ever seen, possibly. Because I think we were in Discord, and I was like, "What is Neo Yokio?" and posted this, or you might have Mal, and I was like, "Oh God, this looks awful." Because I thought watching the trailer initially that it was going to be like a fairly straightforward, like played it straight for the most part show.
I don't know. It's kind of like as far as I can tell from the director, it's meant to be played straight.
Exactly, but it's if you just like
right. So basically, the people I've seen get enjoyment out of it are the ones who like, I don't know, just
don't
find
take it
something
super
else
serious.
To laugh at. Laugh at.
Yeah, it's all about enjoying like the really bad Jaden Smith performance. Him being a main character, because it doesn't really have good fights. It's just all it has for it is like the anime references and like the very dry comedy.
I have not found anything that made it seem like it was worth my time.
Yeah, I don't think it would be your like sense of humor style, Mel. Necessarily. Just I might be judging you wrong, but but I enjoyed it. I'd say at least you would know by the first episode if you would like it or not. It's like if you don't like the first episode, don't even keep watching because you're not gonna like the rest of it. But if you kind of enjoyed it, then I would suggest keep on going. It's a 6 out of 10 show. There's that's my Obsidian score of slot approval. All right, Meta, you close us out here.
All right, so I'm gonna close us out here with the biggest spoiler of all, coming back full circle here. We're gonna talk about a leak that's very near and dear to my heart, and it's not in my house.
It's not Sanic. That would be me.
No, that would be meme worthy, and that's your territory. No, I'm gonna talk about.
Well, might as well go on that tangent. Did you see they put Sanic shirt in Sonic Forces?
Yes.
Oh my
God.
Yes.
They're just like going all in on that meme.
Yep. That's the game is just all in on the meme with those characters. But anyways.
Yeah. So obviously it's kind of hard to hear about unless you're looking around in the internet for it, but apparently there was a massive leak of information for Devil May Cry 5.
Rumor.
Are you sure it wasn't an F?
Nothing confirmed, I don't believe.
Everything as always. This leak is rumor. There is no way to prove it until something comes out that will do so. So take this all with the biggest pile of salt you can get your hands around.
Unless you're the guy on the subway who had like the Tomb Raider files on his laptop open and someone took a picture.
Yes.
Remember that?
God.
I mean, Fallout got a pretty big leak that no one believed at the time, and then it was revealed that, oh crap, that was right.
Yeah. So.
We shall see. Why
this
are you
covers
excited?
a lot of information. I'm super excited because I am an absolute fan.
What,
of
they
the
leaked just the
cheesiness
title?
of the B thriller action game series that is smooth as silk when playing Devil May Cry.
He's got like the black hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the black hair and he smokes and he's got really cool lines like "fuck you, fuck you, fuck you."
He's a
Great,
tryhard.
absolutely great. It's classic material. No, gosh damn it, Mal.
That tryhard Dante.
Dante and his twin brother Variable.
It's the Dante from Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or whatever, 4, right?
Yes, it's the Dante from Marvel. It's the original Dante from the Devil May Cry series. Before they did the quasi reboot with the outside studio that unfortunately bombed. I mean, to be truthfully told, I didn't like the game at all, but it bombed.
Dant
I don't know anyone who
heavily.
did.
Oh my
Dant
gosh!
and his twin brother Virgil.
Yes, Dant and his twin brother Virgil, which was what the affectionate fan names were for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was quite literally the
Like, how
they
can I
actually used
mispronounce
Dante and Virgil or Virgil or something like that. They changed the names.
Verbal?
I don't know. Verbal might have been. So the leak covers an assload of information. It leaks out both production, release date, the development team who's working on it, characters and what the stories could possibly be, gameplay and systems, and then just a little update on what it's going to be released on. I'm going to go through some of these just real quickly, the most important ones. But biggest thing is that has been pushing people to really take this as a big thing is that as of current, when the leaks went live, not only was it reported on, but we have seen actually a lot of voice actors who are synonymous with the games. They're actually, ironically enough, the people who are the voice actors from almost every main character in the series tends to also be the motion caption actors for it. They're generally stuntmen. Johnny Young Bosch, Daniel Southworth, Ruben Langdon, respectively.
Bonkai!
Yeah, pretty much. So,
Who is the lead? What is Dante's voice actor?
he's Ruben Langdon,
okay.
Giving a little quick backstory on him, he actually lives in Japan or lived there in Japan for a long time. I don't remember what, but he's shown up in commercials in Japan, and he's done work in Japan all over the place. You can actually look up Ruben Langdon commercials, and you'll find it on YouTube of like some of the weirdest things I've ever seen Japan put out, but that's Japan, so.
Well, yeah, they got like, what is it, Boss Coffee and Tommy Jones?
Yeah. Then you've got Johnny Young Bosch, who, if you don't know him, I don't know how. I mean, he was the voice of Ichigo. He was one of the Power Rangers.
Rouge Lamperouge.
Yep. He's done tons of voices in tons of different things. You should know him.
That makes him also Orga, isn't that?
I don't know, actually.
If he's Lelouch, then he's also Orga from Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans.
Possibly. I don't actually
He's in a lot.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff. He hasn't done as much stuff lately. Sadly.
Second Black Power Ranger.
Yep. Then you have Daniel Southworth, who was also a Power Ranger. He is the voice of Virgil. He is actually probably the least well-known one. I mean, I don't really know much about his history, but he hasn't shown up in a lot. He hasn't done tons of voice acting, from what I understand. But I mean, don't take my word for it, because I haven't actually looked much into him, which is funny because I love Virgil the most as a character, but
You don't say.
I don't say. You would have never
I
guessed.
never would have guessed.
Never would have guessed. So a lot of the voice actors. I mean, there's been more. There are voice actors for Lady, which is actually kind of jumped around every now and then there's the voice actor for Trish. They've all been replying to these, even liking them on tweets and whatnot. There have been other people like Maximilian Dude, who has actually replied to this leak as well. Jeffrey Calgi, or whatever his name is, the guy who runs the Game Awards, actually replied on the leak thread, the whole spoiler thread as well. Actually made a mention on there about it. So take that for what it is. So the leaks are pretty heavy. I'm going to just go over them real quick. It's really going to be more of an info dump than anything else. You can go all read it at resetera.com, which is just www.resetera.com. So you can look that up real quickly.
Don't go to the dregs of that old forgotten website.
Oh, amusingly, Virgil's voice actor, like current voice actor, was also a Power Ranger.
Yes, it was. So the game will have apparently the game has been essentially slated to release for the fiscal year of 2019. That potentially means anywhere between now and 2019. Apparently, there was an original plan to release it this year at 18th, but it was probably pushed back to early 2019. This data might be a little bit out of date depending on when they were given it, but this is the concept we know. There was supposed to potentially be slated at E3. But that was scaled back, apparently, and they never showed up. It has been in effectively development for 2 years as of today, which will be the posting of the site. It'll apparently have been in development for 3 years at the very least when everything is said and done.
So we'll probably get it next year.
Yeah, which is the highest time a DMC game has ever been in production. Generally, they're very quick to pull out.
Well, a lot of games are going to longer production times.
Yeah, they are. Pre-production started apparently in 2015, around the time that DMC 4 Special Edition finished releasing, so there was that. Everything's been pretty smooth transition. They have not had any hiccups, so it's actually been a very a nice experience, apparently. There is supposed to be a demo. There is supposed to be a trailer, which is apparently around 1 minute and 50 seconds, but I would take that with probably the biggest grain of salt of anything, beyond the fact that is it real or not. It is focused on story, characters, and cutscenes. It will be apparently a more ambitious title for the DMC series as a whole, and it will have the longest cutscene runtime of any DMC game, which most games tend to run now about 2.5 hours to nearly 3 hours with cutscene time, which DMC3 back in the early 2000s ran at nearly 2 hours, and I think it was actually 2 hours and 33 plus minutes. Which puts it as a full-length movie. The game is obviously being worked on Itsuno's team, who he has been essentially the developer on it since I think 3 and 4. And just he's been on work the previous ones. He's also worked on Dragon's Dogma. You've got Yuji Shimomura, who's returning as the cutscene director for DMC 5. He apparently worked on 3, 4, and the Bayonetta cutscenes. Ruben Langdon, Johnny Young Bosch, and Dane Southworth will be reprising their roles respectively as Dante, Nero, and Virgil. Trish and Lady will be returning. We do not know if their voice actors will be the same ones or not, but I'm guessing that they are. Apparently, the original person who helped with the soundtrack for DMC4 Special Edition's launch trailer, Onye Fero, who I'm going to butcher her name, I just don't know how to say it, is apparently coming back as well, and she did a wonderful job, so there's that. If you care. So, bigger things, spoilers to talk about, is that DMC 5 will take place after DMC 4. So, if you haven't played the game, congratulations to you right after that. They do want to keep up the theme of multiple players, multiple characters to play. They want, obviously, to bring Dante and Nero back, but they want the third character to be suggested of what is going to be, but most people are suspecting it's probably going to be Virgil, because the leaks also point out to the fact that he will be showing up in the game, which they haven't really explained how he's going to be back or not if you've played the games, but that he is apparently to be back. There will be a sequence that confirms Nero is Virgil's son, which, again, I don't know how they'll explain it. But they do want the game to more focus around a more serious role for Dante. Not as serious as, say, Devil May Cry 2, but they do want it to be something kind of like and kind of a whole giving an end to the Sons of Sparta storyline, and having Dante kind of deal with the more personal part of his life, which if you've played the games at all, the only thing he's never dealt on is really the personal part of his life beyond when he deals with Virgil. So it will likely involve his father and his mother and the backstory of all of that, which really is the only thing for them left to tell in this tale. That really is just the fact.
Now he's got another brother. He's hidden. Ooh. He wears an orange coat.
It honestly, for being a fan of the game and following the storyline, really it is the only thing I've even mentioned to buddies. I was like, there's still more to get out of the series because they still have not talked about Sparta, their father. I mean, he's always been Sparta is such a built-up legend that he was the one who went against the king of demons, Mundus. He closed the gate. He helped the humans. He turned on what he was. He became something more, and then he just disappeared one day, and nobody knows what happened or why or how or anything. And the only person who might have known, their mother, was killed when demons attacked. So there's still very much left of that area of the story to be really told, and that is something that should be told because it really is one of the most interesting aspects that has been built up over the course of 4 games where the legends of Sparta have expanded everywhere, from the tales of the demon of the man who saved humanity to being a savior and an icon as a god figure for a whole city, to more and more everywhere else. It's just all over the place. Legends of Sparta are very live, so this is something that is going to be will be very interesting to see. But more importantly is the gameplay of it, which is what really everybody loves about these DMC games. Hardlock is standard for anybody who cares. The console will run for 60 frames per second, like the previous DMC games, as all console games should run, is 60 frames per second. They are going to be taking some things, however, from the DMC that was done, that bombed really heavily, the DMC reboot. They are going to be taking some of
the really good one, the best one.
The really good one, the best one. They are going to be taking some design ideas about how the world works and some interactivity with the world. They really want to do more stuff like that. And so they want to kind of take that from this. There will be no quick time events like there were in Bayonetta. There's no stamina bar. It's not a Muso game. They've actually this is a really weird one to make mention of apparently in it, but they specifically say this is not a Muso game, but there will be encounters where you're facing more enemies than you are used to in a DMC game. And I don't know if this was spawned based on the feedback from Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, but they had what was called the Son of Sparta mode, where in the game it either ran on hard or normal difficulty, but anytime you came across a fight with monsters, there was just a horde of them in the room. Like, they just took, like, how many times can we copy and paste these creatures into a room and leave no gaps in between them, is really what it came down to. Which people actually liked. They thought it was awesome that they could go into a room and just kick the crap out of, like, 100 different enemies. So it was actually a lot of fun. Really liked it. There is some online integration, but there will not be multiplayer PvP. It's just not going to be in the game, which is understandable. The game, I just don't think would work in that. They are reworking the dodge system. The camera will pull back on big fights. They want kind of a more dynamic camera, and they did want to fix the dodge system itself because they think it's a little bit less intuitive. They want something smoother, something that feels better instead of people just abusing the invincibility frames and like jumps and jump cancels and all the more harder mechanics that are part of the game that make it so fun. Animations in general are just going to be improved. They want them to be less stiff. Big emphasis on cloth physics, so no more, I guess, clipping through the jacket now of his sword, I guess. They want to make sure that battles are animated and smooth. You're going to hear smooth a lot. There will be still the mission ranking system. You will get your smoking six style and bar to come pop up when it gives you your SSS rank for your dank combos. Enemies, the style system is returning. Enemies will react differently to each style. The style system has been streamlined, which was actually a pretty big issue in the 4th game. It was cool that you could just choose your styles on the fly, but when you move your character with the left analog stick and you're kind of rotating the camera with the right analog stick and choosing what moves to do based on if you're tilting it forward, backward, or keeping it neutral, when you're locked onto a target, it kind of leaves a lack of a thumb open to really play with the D-pad for Dante and the style changes. So this hopefully will potentially fix this problem of what that was. They do want to make the style system more prominent, meaning that certain styles will have advantages on certain enemies. So playing Swordmaster style might work better on this guy, but this enemy might actually be kind of stronger against the style. Not that any style won't be able to just be played through fully on the whole game, just that if you really want to min-max your wins, then you want to switch your styles depending on the enemy that you're facing. They do, again, like I said, they want to do more dynamic environment destruction transformation, but not on the scale of the DMC reboot. And while it is not an open world game, there are some inspiration has been taken from Dragon's Dogma. This game will come out for PlayStation 4, apparently, PC later, and then in later notes, somebody did leak out that apparently it will also be on the Xbox. So there you go.
Your Xbox.
That is everything on the list.
So how will they incorporate loot boxes?
I'm thinking what they're going to want to do is probably after every mission, but before you fight a boss, they'll ask if you want to pay like about $5, I think, just to beat the boss automatically for you. and immediately give you some sweet loot that might change like cosmetic effects and help you beat the game better than other people. I think that's probably the best way they could do this.
Now your reaction when that happens.
A little too real. So going off of this, I don't know how much you guys have played Devil May Cry.
Approximately 0.
0. Okay.
I played the first one.
That is at least twice as much as I have.
Yeah, I played the first one a long time ago.
The Devil May Cry games have been, I think, in my opinion, is kind of the perfection of the action style genre. I guess is the best way to put it, because I mean we've got a subgenre everything nowadays. So the stylish action genre is what it's going to be called.
Every
now.
game is its own genre now.
Pretty much.
I'll just pick up whichever one came out last.
I mean, that actually technically it's not a bad one to pick up.
DMC Devil May Cry.
Yeah, definitely not a bad one at all. Absolutely, you should pick that one up. Actually, no, technically the last one that they made would be the Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. So you.
I wouldn't want to get a remaster. I don't want to get whatever the newest one that they made from scratch.
No, the most critically acclaimed one.
Oh God. There's not much to say. I mean, the games because you guys haven't really played it all. Devil May Cry is generally lauded not only for the fact that they have very strongly stuck to 60 frames per second, but for its often very stylish, combo-eccentric mechanics that allow people to end animations, cancel moves into new ones that have created tons of combo videos, have shown it's possible to immediately crush bosses really quickly thanks to the abuse of these mechanics, which has made the game not only a wonderful game to get into just because in and of itself the storylines are they're like a B-line story movie, but they're wonderfully fun to follow, and it's just fun to kind of put your brain on autopilot and just let the game be what it is. The action and the combat systems themselves are immensely deep, giving a satisfaction to somebody who's just picked up the game to feel badass from whatever they're doing, to players who really master that system, creating insane videos of them just thrashing and doing amazing things with the game and the system and just the base core of what it's designed around. And that's kind of what's really given these games its love, is that Devil May Cry has just been this wonderful action game that there is so much more to learn, master, and show off to other people. It's had a wonderful following because of this, and just for the love of not only the mechanics, but the cheesiness that the games provide in their storylines and whatnot. It's continued to evolve as well, which is obviously something that any game should do when they're going through. The original Devil May Cry had very kind of stiff stuff to it. The second game opened up, which, I mean, is as horrible as the story was, and that's often why it's not liked, because everybody likes to play as Dante, because Dante is a fun protagonist to play as. The game did expand on allowing different ways to approach problems, wall running, backflipping, allowing multi-enemy locks with your guns. And I was just saying, like, the game is just lauded for being a wonderful game that's continued to expand on over the years, and every expansion has come out to be better than last. So,
right.
I mean, there's not a lot more else to say. Apparently, the leaks are going to drop tonight, or at PSX. Game Awards will potentially have a release of a leak or the PSX, or if they don't drop there, beyond having tons of people disappointed, they will likely not show anything until 2018 E3. So,
yep.
Well,
who cares about Tanat and PSX? We got the Namco Bandai conference a week from tomorrow.
Oh, please, no.
I need to see my new Tales of game. I need to see.
It'll be the
my
third
new Soulsborne.
Tales of mobile game.
The only way you could have made that sillier is if you said Koei.
Koei Tecmo.
Yes.
Now, don't even kid. You're gonna kill me, buddy.
I've only played the gacha one. I think there's another one that's more like an actual full game on the mobile side.
Might as well just play Tales of the World: Radiant Mythology for PSP. The ultimate Tales crossover
I
series.
hope you get what you want, Meta.
I'm hoping so too.
Maybe Christmas will come early for you.
Maybe I will
pray.
pick this one up. I mean, I did just play my first Zelda game.
That's true. Who knows, Mal?
Who
Maybe
can
it'll
say?
expand your horizons.
Your Horizon Zero Dawn. I was gonna say Last Horizon again.
Of course you were.
I had to stop myself for a second. Yep. So
that's pretty much all I'm gonna have to say on that.
Yep.
I mean, that's really all it is. You can read
Maybe-
it up at Reset Era. So
maybe we can talk about the trailer next week
and if
Yeah.
it comes out,
and all the other trailers, and maybe some more actual Xenoblade Chronicles too. But anyways, this has been episode 35, a podcast of 5 Rings, your source of enlightenment in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode of podcast of 5 Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes and SoundCloud, and talk about topic day by day on YouTube, with the full video releasing on Fridays. Catch us out on social media. Catch us out. See, look, I can't even talk. My brain doesn't work. We've been
It's time to go to
podcasting
bed.
for an hour and a half, exactly. Twitter,
Wait,
Podcast 5R. Facebook, P5R Podcast. Check out Meta and them streaming. They're streaming more, like 6 days a week now or something.
yeah. It's about 6 days a week now.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how you do it with the job. PSO though.
Yar.
Until next week, where we might have some more Monster Hunter goodness
Oh,
posted
baby.
on the YouTube channel,
Can't wait.
and maybe some trailer discussion.
Oh, baby.
Just wait for it. We'll see you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Later. Bye.